What is going on, guys? Fantasy Monkey back at it again with another video, and this is going to be our first episode of Buy Low, Sell High. In this video, we're going to give you a couple of players we think you should go after in a buy low situation, along with a couple of players we think you should sell high on. So with all this being said, let's jump right into it. Okay, so our first buy low target is Evgeny Malkin of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yes, I do have to admit that Malkin hasn't been great so far, and I'm sure all his fantasy owners are probably thinking the same thing right now.
Like you, Gino.
So far, he's only contributed 2 goals and 4 assists in 11 games, while shooting at around 9%. His shooting percentage hasn't been this low since the 2012-2013 season.
He have lots of scoring chance not score.
It's obvious that this is unlike Malkin, especially considering how good and how consistent he's been over his career. This makes him a very good buy low target in my opinion. Malkin is just too good a player for his slump to last, so he should be able to get going again. Oh yeah, and did I mention that the Penguins power play has just been brutal? The good news here is that they're working on it in practice, and it should only go up, which would directly benefit Malkin. He's a player you can't sleep on, as he's consistently scored 20 goals or more since the 2013-2014 season. If you want to target Malkin though, don't give up too much, because Malkin is known to have injuries, so there still is a risk here. Although this might be a gamble, it could pay dividends if Malkin ends up finding the score sheet again. With where he's at right now, it shouldn't be too hard to acquire him on your team before he starts to light up the lamp. Next up, we have Mika Zibanejad from the New York Rangers. Okay, let's just start off by saying the Rangers as a whole have been disappointing so far, and one key reason for this is Mika Zibanejad. I guess he's been focusing more on making music rather than actually getting better at hockey. But with all jokes aside, he hasn't had the start that people have been accustomed to him getting. For example, last year in his first 9 games, he had 11 points and ended up scoring 41 goals in 57 games, while shooting at a crazy 19% through the season. This year, however, he's only gotten 3 points in his first 10 games and is only shooting at around 3%. Okay, yes, his shooting percentage last year wasn't sustainable, but as you can see, the drop is huge and I wouldn't count on that to last. We need to take into account that he did miss training camp and he was out with COVID, so there could be a chance that he's still recovering from that. We also need to remember that Zibanejad plays on a great power play unit with superstar Artemi Panarin, so he will get chances just from Panarin setting him up. Mika has been known to have explosive games in his career, so do not miss out on a chance to cash out once this happens. All of this makes him a solid trade target, so find an owner who is worried and buy low. He should be an easy acquisition to your team and could be a season changer for you in the long term. Okay, and now to get into our sell high suggestions. Okay, I know it might be hard sometimes to get rid of a player who is doing good for you, but if you're able to get a good value player back, big brain plays like this can sometimes make the difference in you winning or losing your league, so don't be afraid to try. But anyways, our first sell high suggestion is Tyler Toffoli of the Montreal Canadiens. Toffoli has been amazing so far, and the story with him this season has just been great. He's absolutely tearing up his former team in Vancouver with 8 of his 9 goals coming against them. He's a strong possession player who shoots a lot every season. The problem with Toffoli, however, is that sustaining a 23.7% shooting will be very hard. We can expect Toffoli to eventually come back down to earth and have a cold stretch at some point this season. You also need to keep in mind that Montreal has a deep forward unit, especially wingers with guys like Gallagher, Tatar, Anderson, and Drouin. They're all weapons who can also score goals and steal ice time. So right now, if you can find an owner who's willing to pay you a star player with a proven track record, I'd definitely sell high and cash in. However, if you aren't able to sell high on Toffoli, he's still a solid player to keep, especially since he shoots a lot, plays top 6 minutes, and is all in the top power play. And for our final sell high player, we have Joe motherfucking Pavelski.
Fuck! There's a fucking less at fucking nothing right now. It's not gonna fucking win either. So fucking.
I love Joe Pavelski as a player, but I do have to admit I did not expect him to be doing this good. The thing is, he greatly regressed last year as he only scored 31 points, but this season he has exploded with 15 points in 8 games, which includes 2 4-point outings. We have to keep in mind that he's 36 years old and is shooting at an unsustainable 28%. Dallas is also firing a whooping 36.8% of their power play attempts into the net. This definitely won't last. For example, last year the deadly Edmonton Oilers power play fired at 29.5% to lead the league, so eventually Dallas's power play will cool off. I also expect Dallas's offense to slow down in general because games will get tighter and therefore Pavelski's numbers will just go down. I'd be shopping him around to see what kind of big fish you could land. However, if you can't sell him, he's still a good player to keep as he gets a ton of minutes, plays with good wingers, gets good peripherals, and is on a solid power play unit. And that's it for this week's episode of Sell High, Buy Low. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. But before I close this off, I just want to say we really appreciate you guys' comments as it helps us improve the quality of our videos. So if you have any tips or suggestions, feel free to let us know in the comments below. But anyways, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day.